I'm Kathy Casey and welcome to the Liquid Kitchen. I'm going to make saki sangria. Now sangria doesn't have to be just red wine or white wine. It can be sake also. I'm going to use a lovely kind of medium dry sake here. I'm going to do a whole bottle. And then I'm going to add about 6 tablespoons of local honey to it, just to give it a little light sweetness. If you like a little bit drier, you could always cut it back to 4 tablespoons. This is my liquid kitchen honey that I'm using. It's really dark and rich. So I'm measuring in, ooh, isn't that pretty? I'm gonna do about 4 or 5 tablespoons. Okay. Now I'm gonna kind of get that stirring up to dissolve. While that's kind of mellowing and dissolving together, I'm going to get my lemongrass together. So when you buy lemongrass, sometimes you have to buy quite a few stalks. And so this is a great tip. If you have more than you need, you can always wrap it in plastic wrap and then throw it in the freezer. So I'm going to remove any outside leaves, and then I cut the little brown part on the bottom off. I'm going to cut it in half with my knife. Just be really careful when you do this because it's sometimes really, really firm. And then separate that, spreading it open. Now, what I like to do at this point is give it a little bash with some sort of a mallet. If you don't have a mallet, you can use like a pan or anything heavy in your kitchen. Get your aggression out too. But this really releases the oils in it and makes the fragrance of the lemongrass come out more. So I'm going to cut a few pieces and then add them into my sangria. There we go. And then I've also cut some kind of cute little garnish pieces for my glasses that we're going to use later too. Now the next thing is ginger. I'm going to peel the ginger using a little bit of a fun trick here with a spoon. So I'm just going to break off one of the nubs. And then with a spoon, I'm just going to scrape the skin off of the ginger. And this is another really great kind of chef's trick here. You get the skin off, but then you don't remove a lot of the ginger that is usable. That's about what I need there. I'm going to cut a few pieces of ginger. And when you're cutting ginger too, you want to cut across the grain. So I'm going to do a few pieces of fresh, fragrant ginger. And in that goes. And then next, I'm going to add in some fresh plum. So I have 1 plum here. You could do 1 or 2. I'm going to cut my plum in half and then cut it into wedges. It's a nice, really dark ruby color on the outside. And if plums weren't in season, you could always do some apricots as well. That would also be very tasty in this. That little seed is being tough to get out. All right, slicing that up. Then I'm also going to put some lemon in it as well, about half a lemon, because I don't want this to be too tart. I'm going to cut it lengthwise, and then I'm going to flick any seeds out, and then cut that into slices. All right. I'm going to give that a little stir. And then I have a tangerine. I'm just going to cut that in half and then slice that up. And if tangerines aren't in season, clementines, mandarins, you could always use half of a small orange as well. Blood orange would be really good in this too. Okay. I'm going to pop that in and then give it another stir to get that going. Now I like to let this sit at least 4 hours, or preferably overnight, for the flavors really to come out and that lemongrass to really infuse in the sake. Other ideas are that you could add a little bit of Thai basil, would be really delicious in here too. All right, so I'm going to set this off to the side here, and I have some already prepared, and you can see that the color's gotten really kind of golden as it sat overnight. I'm going to ice my glasses. And then pour some of my saki sangria in. And then I'm going to garnish it with a couple of sprigs of really pretty lemongrass. Now that's just beautiful by itself like that, or you could always cut a couple pieces of fresh plum that you could just float on top, or kind of dig some of your fruit out from your sake. Sometimes it's pretty just to put some fresh pieces on the top too. And that is the sake sangria.